I was the other woman in my cheating story. My cheating story is a bit different since I'm the one he unknowingly cheated on his wife with. I was 24 when we met, he was 38. I met him while he was on duty as a CHP officer. It all began with a question. I had just purchased a new-to-me car, and it was pretty low, and I thought it might be too low. So one day I saw a police officer talking to a neighbor of mine and pulled over and asked him if it was, and he said, "Oh no, you're fine. Let me show you how," and he went over to my car and told me if the car goes over the tire, that's when it's illegal. I'm like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And he asked if I lived around there, and I said, "Yes," I pointed out where I lived. The very next day, as I walked my cousin out, he's passing by. I say hello while covering my face, and he asked why I was covering myself. I wasn't wearing any makeup, and I felt embarrassed, and he said that there was no reason to, that I still was very pretty, makeup or no makeup. After that, he seemed to stop by on a regular basis. After a year of friendship, he kissed me, and I felt a bit odd about the entire situation, so I stopped speaking to him or answering his calls. After about a week, I started to miss him. He had left me a voicemail saying he had started to get the hint, and he wouldn't be bothering me anymore. He called me a few days after that, and I picked up and gave him the excuse of being busy and I was sorry. He seemed okay with it. We began a relationship a couple of months after that. After 6 months or so, I discovered that I was pregnant. I told him, and he seemed okay with it. After 27 weeks of pregnancy, I went into early labor. My placenta had ruptured and detached from my uterus. I went into surgery. They put me under general anesthesia, where I later discovered I had flatlined for 90 seconds and had to get a blood transfusion. My cousin had been the one who took me to the hospital, and I guess she called him to tell him. When I woke up from emergency surgery, he was there holding my hand. I panicked realizing the situation, but he told me, "Don't worry, I saw her and she has a good color, she's going to be fine." He stayed there the entire time until visiting hours were over. He tells me he'll be back the next day once visiting hours began. The next day, about 4 hours after visiting started, he hadn't arrived, so I called him to check if everything was okay. He told me, "I'm not going to be seeing you anymore. I'm married and I told my wife about us and the baby and she forgave me and we're going to work on our marriage." Everything started spinning for me. My sister was standing right next to me and shaking in tears. I told her, "OMG, I can't do this," while I gave her the phone. She spoke to him, and I guess he told her, and she hung up the phone and told me, "He's an asshole, forget his dumb ass." My daughter had been airlifted to San Francisco UCSF Children's Hospital. She's absolutely perfect today. She just turned 18 and is incredibly smart, beautiful, and the greatest daughter I could have ever hoped for. There is a lot more to the story, however, I don't want to go into detail more than I already have. So long story short, when I returned from San Francisco with my daughter, he asked me to forgive him and that he was going to leave his wife. With time, I gave him a chance, and after 7 years, he did it again. I told him that I couldn't do this again and said he could pick up our daughter for visits anytime he wanted, but that my mom would be the one walking her outside to him. He said if I didn't come to the door that he wouldn't be picking her up anymore. I told him it would be his loss and that he wouldn't be using our daughter as a pawn. He kept good on his word and didn't speak, call, or see her for 10 years, until she contacted him a few months ago. He turned around and blamed me for his absence. He said, "Your mom told me to stay away," and I assured her that yes, I did tell him to stay away from me, not her. She confronted him about the last time we spoke, and his response was, "That could have happened. I'm not saying it didn't, but I don't remember exactly what happened." Story 2. My 23M, cheating ex, 23F, keeps calling and harassing me nonstop after she found out I was getting married. Ex-girlfriend, 23F, is now calling and harassing me, 23M, after she found out I'm getting married. Forgive me for making this post very long. I wanted to share my experience, heartbreak and all that, then found love again. It's pretty surreal. Nearly 2 years ago, I had my heart broken. Now, I'm getting married and about to be a dad. My ex, let's call her Layla, I loved that girl, and I thought she loved me. Apparently, I was wrong. We were together for 2 years. We met in the first year of college. I was head over heels. I painted this future for us together. The relationship was going great. There were a few arguments here and there, but we'd resolve them. I honestly thought she was the one. It was a year ago and 10 months ago when it happened. I was gonna propose and I told my plan to one of her friends who I was acquainted with. She got really quiet, which made me confused. That's when her friend confessed to me that Layla had been sleeping with one of the guys in her friend group. Apparently, some of them knew about it, but never told me. I thought it was a sick joke, that it was a prank. But she showed me proof, then cried and told me that she was so sorry. I was very devastated. I confronted Layla about it. She kept denying. Eventually, it turned into a full-blown argument. She said a lot of hurtful things to me that day. Yeah, I broke it off. I was angry and sad. Then a day after we broke up, she kept bombarding my phone with messages saying that, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean the things I said. Well, I'll never do it again. Please come back to me." Yeah, I blocked her, but it didn't stop her from trying to fix things. She didn't even cut things off with the guy. They're still friends, from what I saw on social media. Summer break came, and I was still depressed and angry. I moved back in with my parents just to get away from it all. Mom, Dad, if you ever see this one day, I love you. They couldn't stand it anymore, watching me so depressed. A month later, Mom and Dad told me that they had found somebody for me. That month, I met my fiancée, Kitty. She's from the Philippines. I was extremely confused at first. They showed me pictures of her. I said, "Okay, she's cute. What is this about?" Then they told me that Dad contacted a friend of his who is retired and staying in the Philippines. Then they got into contact with Kitty's family and they offered their youngest. "You wanted to get married, right? Well, here, she's perfect for you. They're great people," my mom told me. At first, I refused and was very alarmed because I was against mail order brides. They argued back that it would be rude to turn it down since they started making arrangements for her to come over. After a long argument, I gave up. Kitty stayed with us for a while. It took a long time to get used to, but I managed. I had to teach her English at first because hers was quite broken. She came from a poor household, and I felt really bad for her when she told me her situation back home. I wanted things to be equal between us, so in the first few weeks, she stayed with us. I helped her cook and clean. I was shocked when her first instinct was to do all that. I was like, no, here, let me help you. You're our guest. Then I taught her how to play the piano. My heart felt like it was getting squeezed. When she looked like she experienced something magical, she warmed up to me, telling me stories about her home, about her family. She showed me pictures of all her siblings and her parents. I started learning Bisaya so I could talk with her better, and it's paying off so far. I asked her to teach me how to cook some traditional recipes, and she was more than happy. I did not expect to fall in love. It happened on the day when I was going through a depressive episode. She cooked me a meal, and I told her everything that happened between me and Layla. Kitty listened, then told me that it was okay to cry. She was nothing like my ex. Kitty was smart. She was extremely caring and kind. Lended her all the old books on my shelf, mostly novels, which she enjoyed. Started taking her on dates, going on road trips, and so on. She experienced snow for the first time, which made me very happy when I saw the look on her face. She confessed that she didn't like me at first, but now that's all changed. I told her that I love her, and she cried and said that she felt the same. The dating period was brief, found out she was pregnant, and so we decided to tie the knot. I swear that I love this girl to the bottom of my heart. Despite the circumstances surrounding how we met, nothing will change how I feel for her. I swear that I do not mistreat or hurt her in any shape or form. Unfortunately, Layla found out and was pissed. She started sending me texts and voicemails, calling me disgusting and many more, comparing me to an animal and so on. It hurt Kitty, seeing all those messages. And then she somehow got her friends involved. They also started texting me and calling me a disgusting freak. And now I am in the middle of pressing charges. I didn't want my girl to be in the middle of all this drama, especially with our baby, who shares the spot of being my #1 favorite person on the way. Regardless, I am content so far. Story 3. I gave her everything because I loved her. Then I caught her cheating with her ex. Using a spy app, I, 27M, was with my girlfriend, 26F, for almost 3 years. I honestly thought she was the one. She came into my life when everything felt dark. My mom had just passed, I had lost my job, and I was emotionally drained. But she lit everything up. She made me laugh again. I fell for her, hard, and when I fall in love, I give. I'm not just talking about money or gifts, although yeah, I did those too. Spa days, surprise flowers, covered some of her bills when she was short. I gave her my time, my heart, my future plans. I supported her through her depression, helped her study for exams, even distanced myself from a couple of female friends just because she felt uncomfortable. I didn't mind. I thought that's what love is. But over the last few months, something changed. She started being more distant, always on her phone, always turning the screen away. She'd get texts late at night and quickly hide them. Our conversations became shorter. The intimacy dropped off too. I thought it was stress, so I planned a weekend getaway to reconnect. She said she was too tired. That weekend, she went out with the girls and never answered my calls. That was my first gut punch. A close friend of mine noticed all this and pulled me aside. He said, "Bro, I think she's hiding something. You're doing everything for her, but she's not even giving you peace." I brushed it off at first. Love makes you blind. But something in me started to wake up. That's when I found Spy Bubble. I know people have mixed feelings about spying, and I wasn't proud of myself, but I needed to know the truth. I was tired of feeling stupid, so I installed it discreetly. And I wish I hadn't. She had been texting her ex, the same guy who cheated on her years ago and made her cry on my shoulder. They weren't just talking, they were meeting up. I saw explicit messages, I saw hotel bookings, I saw photos. My hands literally shook reading them. The worst part? One of the nights she claimed she was going to her aunt's place, she was actually with him. I had receipts, dates, times, screenshots, so I confronted her. I'll never forget her face when I showed her the proof. She didn't cry, she didn't beg. She just said, "I didn't think you'd find out." That broke me more than the cheating. Like she didn't even regret it. She just regretted getting caught. I walked away. I blocked her. I deleted every photo. I went no contact. And let me tell you, it's been hell. I miss her like crazy some nights, even after everything. That's the hardest part about love. Sometimes your heart doesn't align with reality. But I've learned some things, and if you've read this far, here's my honest advice. Pay attention to patterns, not just words. Love can make us overlook obvious red flags. If someone's behavior changes drastically, don't ignore it. Don't lose yourself trying to love someone else. I gave everything, and it still wasn't enough, because real love doesn't make you prove your worth constantly. Your peace is more valuable than any relationship. If you're always anxious, guessing, or doubting, something's wrong. Listen to your friends. My boy told me weeks before I took it seriously, sometimes your outside circle sees what your heart refuses to admit. Trust, but don't be naive. You can love deeply and still protect yourself emotionally. Being cautious doesn't mean you're paranoid. It means you're aware. If you're in love right now, I'm not telling you to spy or be suspicious. I'm saying love with your heart, but take your brain with you. And if you've ever been through something similar, you're not alone. Stay strong out there. Story 4. Girlfriend cheats while she was drunk. I was cheated on by my girlfriend 1 month ago. I'm 21, she's 20. We were together for a year. I caught her kissing her boss, he's 27. It was the first time he'd ever given her a ride home. She needed help after crashing her car, and he offered to help. I trusted her. She never gave me a reason to feel insecure or jealous. We had a mutual understanding, no late hangouts with the opposite gender, no drinking, no putting ourselves in situations that could lead to cheating. She always had a rocky relationship with alcohol, and it never ended well. I was on a solid sober streak too. These were rules we set together and respected. That night, she didn't call. We share locations, but from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., I got silence. I called, I texted, nothing. She later said her phone died, but I had the worst gut feeling, so I drove over. That's when I saw them kissing. I completely lost it. We broke up. Turns out they'd been drinking the whole time. She said the kiss happened just as she was about to leave. All she had to do was go home. All she had to do was say no to drinking. She didn't. This after constantly telling me I had nothing to worry about, that he was just like a brother. She lied. The worst part? After getting caught, they drove off for around 3 hours before she called me to explain. Then she still went to work with him the next day, week and month. She claimed she was going to tell me. that nothing would have happened, but it did. Those first few days after were a blur. The usual cheating spiel followed. I love you. It was a mistake. It won't happen again. I didn't take her back. I stood my ground. Still, we talked a little, met up every other week, stayed physically close. Yeah, probably the worst thing you can do after a breakup, but it happened. It's been a month now. She transferred to another store. She never fully explained what happened that night. She took some accountability, sure, but she never showed me her phone, never let me read their messages. She never reported him to HR either, even though I believe what happened was inappropriate and predatory. Boss, an underage employee buying her alcohol, it crossed a line. Before she left, she told me he confessed his love for her. Can you believe that? She said she didn't feel the same, and I believe her. I don't think she loves him. Maybe it really was a mistake, but how? How could she drink again? How could she go back on her word? How could she not make me a priority? She said she'd fight for us, and she didn't. I hope you enjoyed these Reddit stories. Remember to like and subscribe, and come back for more.